The three chemicals that cocaine affects in your brain. There are three neurotransmitter chemicals in your brain that cocaine affects. And these are some, in my opinion, the most dangerous because of what these neurotransmitters do. And so I'm going to go through and explain to you how this affects you, because I was doing 1 to 2 A-balls of cocaine a day. I was an addict. This was my drug of choice. This was my obsession. And I didn't realize what it was doing to my brain, how it was affecting these chemicals, and why it made me feel the way it made me feel, especially after I hit the cocaine drop and I would run out of the drug or I would stop taking it for any period of time. If you're new to the channel, hit the like and subscribe button. What's up, guys? My name is Eric, and these are the three neurotransmitters that cocaine really hits in your brain, the chemicals in your brain. And the first one is the epinephrine. Epinephrine is a fight or flight response, almost hormone chemical, though, in the neurotransmitters that is produced, that the re-up doesn't get taken or doesn't get absorbed. And if you don't know how re-uptake means, is it's how this is absorbed back into your system. It pretty much blocks this stuff from getting absorbed into your system. Cocaine lasts in your system after you snort it for about 10 minutes, depending. Some people can last up to 20 minutes. And so during this time, this isn't getting reabsorbed into your body and reabsorbed into your brain. So the first one affects the epinephrine affects your fight or flight response. That is where you can see people with cocaine, they almost get this big mood energy or this isolated energy, where you're going to notice there's a big distinction between a lot of addicts. At some points, you're very isolated, you're alone. You want to be alone. You find comfort in alone while you're using your drugs. Because of that fight and flight response, it releases and lets go of a lot of that paranoia, because you're alone, you're not worried about anything. With some people in large crowds, you can see that they get a little bit more aggressive, they get a little bit louder, they get a little bit more boisterous. So that is the first one. The second one, people don't really realize, I think, is serotonin. So serotonin affects your mood. That is your mood stabilizer in your brain. So that is why people get, when they're coming down from cocaine, you can see them get irritable, you can see them get angry, it can affect their temper, it can affect their mood, is because of the serotonin. So serotonin's blocked, so it's a massive mood stabilizer. Again, that's where it's all happy, joy, joy, joy. But that's why everyone will talk even about this cocaine drop. And they also will talk about when people start running out of the cocaine, you can become very irritable, you can become very fidgety, you can become your mood is almost manic, in the sense that you went from very, very happy to frustrated, short fused, tempered, because all of a sudden of this neurotransmitter now being reabsorbed back in that was originally just blocked from your system. And then the third is dopamine, and dopamine is the happy chemical. It's the feel-good chemical, and you have this massive amount all of a sudden that is in your system. There's abundance because your brain is producing dopamine. And again, cocaine makes you feel happy, joyous, good, alert, self-aware, big mood energy, just loving life. And then all of a sudden you crash and you become depressed, you become sad, you become lonely, you become anxious, you feel like there's a hole in your chest, you feel very empty. And this is what ends up happening. This is the cycle of addiction, because what happens is these drugs do affect our brain. And if you don't realize how they affect your brain, you don't understand the ups and the downs that you go through with this drug. And that's why when you're getting sober, it is a lot of depression. It's a lot of mood swings. It's a lot of anger, temper, just vomiting. I mean, all sorts of stuff, because your brain is not knowing how to balance out any of these chemicals. And again, I'm not a doctor, an expert when it comes to this. I was an expert drug user, and so I share just from my experience and from the experience of other addicts that I've had the chance to just sit and talk with. Because again, that's what the whole thing of getting, sober is finding others that understand, finding others that can make things make sense to you of why you're feeling the way that you are as you're fighting through these battles every day. Because you're trying to find this hope, you're trying to find this end to the pain that essentially you put yourself there, and now you're trying to pull yourself back out. And that's why I share my testimonies. That's why I share these stories of what I've learned for the one out there struggling, because I know what it's like. I got sober 7/25/17, and it was a struggle. And it took me well over a year to even get my brain stabilized out, where I wasn't suicidal. I wasn't massively depressed. I didn't have these massive depressive episodes. I was on medication for anxiety. It was a struggle. And so for the one out there, I hope this video helps make things make sense to you a little bit more. Hit the like and subscribe button. Comment down below, because I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on this, because that's what it's all about. I think that the more that we share, the more that we educate ourselves, the more that we're not alone. So you got this.